שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל
Yeah. Shabbat Shalom. The disciples of the Baal Shem Tov heard that a certain man was a sage, and some of them were anxious to see and hear his Torah. As the master gave them permission to go, they asked him, "How will we know if he is a true teacher?" The Baal Shem replied, "Ask him for advice on how to pray without distraction and how to learn without distraction. If he has an answer, you will know he is no true sage." Tonight, we begin the 14th day of Elul, and this being Shabbat, it's a special opportunity to reflect on the holiness, the personal strength we have within. As Jews, we acknowledge that perfection is impossible. The quest for greater self-understanding, the greater purpose in this world are without end. This time for Teshuvah is our opportunity to change and grow, reshape our lives, to return to what we hope our best selves can be. If we think we figured it out, we have missed the point entirely. So take a moment. I invite you to participate in an Elul pre-Shabbat meditation. Uncross your legs, put your prayer book on your lap, relax your hands, your face. Close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Acknowledge the noise, the distractions, anxieties. Greet them so you can incorporate them. They will always be part of our lives, whether we desire them or not. Listen to your own nefesh, your breath, your holy soul. Are you present, if only for a moment? Are you conscious of who you are and what you're doing? How will you in the new year ahead attempt to create a new self, more loving, more connected to others, accepting of the distractions, engaging in a more whole and holy life? As we breathe in and out, we increase our awareness of the holiness that surrounds us. As we enter Shabbat, we open our eyes, preparing ourselves to return to the holiness we have within. And we turn to page 11, more aware of our inner glow, making the flame of those Shabbos candles come alive in our lives. It's my pleasure to call up Elaine and Steve Kovner to lead us in the readings before we share in our candle blessings.
Devoted to peace, peace within my soul. On this day I have everything I need, peace with those around me. On this day I seek no quarrel or strife, peace of earth and sky, green trees and quiet water. I give thanks that I am present in this world. I celebrate the miracle of existence, the breath within me, the beating of my heart, the love that blesses my life.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on Shabbat.
Please join me in Kiddush on page 13? 12, page 12. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila le'mikrae kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'anim, v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim. We turn now to page 14. Actually, yeah. For Yismachu Hashamayim, which is the last line of the first part. There we go. So from Psalm 96, let heaven be glad, let the earth rejoice, let the sea and its fullness make thunderous noise.
The second line, Tov lehodot, we give thanks to God. Tov lehodot Adonai, ulezamer shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot Adonai, ulezamer shimcha elyon. L'akir baboker chasecha, emunatcha v'alelut. L'akir baboker chasecha, emunatcha v'alelut. Lo lehodot Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon.
We turn to page 22 so that we can welcome the Sabbath bride singing L'Chadodi When we reach our last verse, Boiva Shalom, we rise as a congregation, turning to face the entrance of our sanctuary to beckon that Shabbos spirit, that Sabbath bride, who will only enter if we use our voices and our spirit in song to let her or it know that it is welcome. And whether you're here with us in the Wolf Sanctuary or joining us on live stream, we invite you to sing with full voice and full spirit, celebrating the joy of Shabbat. Turn to those around you. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Let them know you are so glad they're here.
Normally those mics are pretty good.
Oh no, they had a new. That's why it's easier.
Yeah. It's fun. How are they able to make it?
It's nice to play different styles.
We turn to page 24 for Chatzi Kaddish as we remain standing through Shema. Page 24.
Yitkarov yitkara shemei Rabba, Amen. Ve'amad yivrach irtei v'yamlich mochotei, v'chai echad uvyom echad, uv'chayei lecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, uv'yisma'im kariv, v'meru, Amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mevorach, le'olam olam ve'amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitpa'ar v'ytomar v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal shemei rekodesha, v'richu leila min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiran be'ama, v'meru, Amen.
Page 28 together in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma potech sha'arim, uvitbuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakira kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uben layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Love beyond all space and time, your love enfolds your people Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam vaed. You may be seated. Please join me on page 34. with Ve'afta. Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha v'lachtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות הידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On the bottom of page 41, we join together. When Israel went forth from Egypt, we went forth. Behind us now the speech of strangers, ahead the freedom to speak our own words and discover the holy. Witnessing this, the great sea fled, the river changed its course, the mountains danced like rams, the hills like sheep. Sea, river, and mountains, what has become of you? Why flee, change course? Why dance like rams and sheep? Stand in awe, all the earth. The God of Jacob turns rock to water, stone to a gushing stream. Life changes course in an instant. Sing from the heart, awaken to life's wonders. Page 40, Michamocha, sing from the heart. I got too into the new one, I'm sorry. Page 42, we join together in Hashkivenu. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, together, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives, be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now and until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 46, we join together singing Vishamru.
We turn to page 48 as we rise for the Amidah.
Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha salah. Baruch atah Adonai hakadosh.
You may be seated. As I noted at the beginning of services, this month of Elul is meant to be a time of self-reflection and introspection as we prepare for the days of awe, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur that are just a few weeks away. There is a Sephardic tradition of using certain psalms. There are 8 penitential psalms that we reference during these days. And in the blue pages that follow, we have excerpts or kavanot that evoke those special psalms, as well as other modern readings that are meant to help us reflect. So take a few moments for a silent Amidah, explore the left side of the page, the blue shaded side that offers both traditional and modern ways to prepare ourselves for the days of awe.
Together at the bottom of page 69, for all these gifts. For the gifts I received today, air in my lungs, pulse in my veins, my restless mind alive and curious, awakening suddenly to beauty, for love and the memory of love, forgiveness when I didn't deserve it, another chance at life. Let my soul give thanks to you. Let me not forget your kindness. On your service supplement that you got when you came in the door, you have the healing list on one side, on the other side, honors, and also our prayer for healing in the middle. We think of all of those on our healing list. If you're in the sanctuary, on your sheet, if you're joining us on live stream, on your screen, and all of those who are here in our hearts, we take a moment and whisper the names aloud of those who need healing. We join together in the words of our prayer for healing.
Grant us a perfect our own silent meditations. Osa shalom b'romav, Oyaseh shalom, Oyaseh shalom aleinu, Yaseh shalom aleinu, Osa shalom b'romav, Oyaseh shalom, Oyaseh shalom aleinu, Yaseh shalom aleinu, we ask for peace on earth, and we say amen. Dimiru amen, dimiru amen. We raise our voice as one, and we say amen.
Asher was the wealthiest man in town, but he had not always been so. Some years before, Asher had found a sack with some leather strips, some string, and some buttons inside. The buttons turned out to be gold, and Asher turned out to be rich, very rich indeed. Asher was wealthy, but he was also stingy. A more miserly individual never existed anywhere. It was said that Asher made his wife sign a contract every time he gave her money for food or for clothes. Wouldn't go over well. It was said that he collected the crumbs left over from a meal and ordered that they be used again in the next day's meal. It was said that when he wore holes in his shoes, he did not throw them away. He had all the good leather saved and made into shoes for his children. Everyone in town knew of Asher's reputation for stinginess. So when it came time for the rabbi to ask Asher to help a family that had no money to buy wine and candles and food for the upcoming holidays, the rabbi knew he had to have a very clever plan. The rabbi waited to visit Asher on a blisteringly hot day. The sun was beating down and there was no shade anywhere. You know that kind of day. It was a winter day, but I changed it so we could all relate to it. The sun was beating down. There was no shade anywhere. Even the cats and dogs that usually roamed the streets found some shelter to cool down. No one ventured outside. Rather, this day was one for extra fans and ice-cold drinks. Therefore, it was a surprise for Asher to hear the bang of the large iron door knocker. When it persisted, he left his seat in front of the fan in his study and trudged to the door. Getting up from the breeze of the fan put him in a more surly mood than usual. By the time he reached the door, he was really angry. "Rabbi, what are you doing here?" Asher snapped as he opened the door. "Well, well," said the rabbi, "and a good morning to you too." "I suppose you might as well step inside," said Asher. His invitation was not so cordial. "Well, well," said the rabbi, as if he had not even heard Asher's invitation to come in out of the heat. Yet he had heard Asher. "Please, Rabbi," Asher insisted, "come inside. The sun is beating down and we would be much more comfortable if we were inside." "Asher, sir," continued the rabbi, as if, again, he had not heard a word that Asher had said. "You know the holidays are coming. Our community will be preparing to celebrate, and—" Asher was growing impatient. The heat must have made the rabbi deaf, he thought, so he shouted, "Rabbi, let's go inside and have some iced tea by the fan. Then we can discuss whatever you wish." But the rabbi just continued as if Asher had never opened his mouth. "Soon everyone will be out shopping at the market. There is so much to get ready. Still, the time is so festive. It is a wonderful time, don't you think, Asher?" "Yes, Rabbi, a wonderful time." He grabbed for the rabbi's arm in order to lead him inside. "Asher, do you remember the days when you were poor? Do you remember how you felt when the holidays came and you sought to prepare for them?" Asher grabbed again for the rabbi's arm, but each time he did, the rabbi would take a step further back onto the porch, drawing Asher further and further outside into the blazing heat. "Rabbi, please, let us continue this discussion in the house." Asher was shouting now. His face was growing red with rage at the same time that his body was growing red with heat. "Asher," asked the rabbi as softly as he could, "why are you so angry?" "Rabbi, it is sweltering out here and you refuse to accept my repeated invitations to continue our discussion inside." "How long have we been standing here?" asked the rabbi. "Too long," cried Asher. "But it's only been a few moments, hasn't it?" asked the rabbi again. "Once, many years ago, you spent a great deal of time in the heat. You used to go from home to home asking for money so your family could have food for the holidays. Sometimes you even came to me seeking help. Yet every time I have come to you for help, now that you are wealthy, you refuse me. Can it be that the warmth of your wealth has helped you forget the bitter desperation of your former suffering?" The heat had intensified to create sweat dripping down Asher's beard. He shuddered and began to recall all those awful days when he would go begging in weather very much like this. "Yes, Rabbi," said Asher very meekly. "Until this very moment, I had forgotten what it felt like to suffer. You have reminded me. What can I do to help?" It is said that from that day on, Asher became a real tzaddik, a very righteous person. Wealth and success can make the memory very short. It's harder to remember the bad times, but every tzaddik does. That is what it takes to be a tzaddik. In our Torah portion this week of Ki Tetzei, we are reminded to treat people well. But more than that, we are told remember over and over. We're not being told to remember the good times, but the difficult ones, the ones that we try to wipe away from our memory, specifically when we were slaves in Egypt. Rabbi Stephen M. Rossman explains, we Jews are a people of memory. It is not only that remembering connects us to people and events long past, but it is as well that remembering humbles us. We were not born with all the skills, talents, and friends or loved ones that we have now. Memories of times when we had not enable us to better empathize with those who currently have not. Folk wisdom teaches us a miserly rich man is worse than a pauper. That is even more true when the rich man was once a pauper. In our story, we encounter such a character. Asher has forgotten what it was like to be poor, without a cooling device and hungry. The rabbi devises a clever scheme to remind him. As we make happy memories tonight together for Shabbat, maybe after for barbecue, may we not become so rich in happiness that we cannot remember those in our community who need support, love, and smiles as they are in the throes of those hard times. May we remember all of those around us today and every day. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue on page 78 with Aleinu, and we invite you to rise as we remind you that this is the more traditional Aleinu, not the one we typically do on a Friday night. The text, not the melody. You may be seated. As we prepare to join together in words of Kaddish, I offer you a meditation, a poem by Deborah Cash, not found in your prayer book. She writes, build me up of memory, loving and angry, tender and honest. Let my loss build me a heart of wisdom, compassion for the world's many losses. Each hour is mortal, and each hour is eternal, and each hour is our testament. May I create worthy memories all the days of my life. On this Shabbat, we remember those in our congregation whose yortzites are observed this week. We remember Jeanette Beck, Isabel Benson, Jennifer Ann Berkman, Morris Abraham Burns, I. Bob Blumenthal, Betty Cohen, Brooke Greenwald Cohen, Sam Cohen, Joan Ellen Epstein, Louis Forsheimer, Sylvia Z. Foy, Miguel Rojas Garza, Madeline Goldfein, Aaron Green, Andrew Gerwitz, Betty Half, Marie Hart, Mary Hines, Ernest Honig, Herman Hoffman, Rosanna Hormachea, Rupert C. Jackson, Ben David Cantor, Gerald Kaplan, Joseph Keogh, Viola N. Kuntz, Dr. Richard Mark Lakritz, Lizetta Laser, Thelma Lasser, Essie B. Lehman, Elliot Latofsky, William E. Mabry Sr., Sarah Mann, Gertrude Marks, Nanette Rowie Martin, David Neuwirth, Sylvan Nordhaus, Millie Orion, Max Pelsman, Pauline Pepper, Mel Pomerantz, Esther Ringel, Rose Rabinowitz, Dr. Richard Rodkin, Molly Rodkin, Eugene Rosenstein, Harry Saul Mo Ruddleson, Julius Sager, Elsie Sanger, Mark Schwartzman, Glenn Seidenfeld, Dr. Leopold Simon, Edward Simon, Ronald A. Simon, Libby Stool, Orlando Temple, Alex R. Thomas, Nathan G. Tivers, Gloria Trout, Nathan Tradlier, Simon Werbner, and Adele Zimmerman. We also recall 3 who in the last 30 days, Shloshim, have been laid to their eternal rest: Kenneth Sugarman, Tom Kaufman, and Israel Alman, as well as 2 who in this past week, their families have been laid to their eternal rest, their families still observing the period of Shiva. We remember Deborah Levine Rubenstein, wife of Carl, mother of David and Rachel Rubenstein, Anna and Steve Paris, and Sarah Rubenstein, and grandmother of Samuel Rubenstein, Lauren and Leah Paris, Joseph and Olympia Sassolino. We also remember Sally Cooper, mother of Linda and Leon Hertz, Patty Greenfield and Larry and Elizabeth Cooper, grandmother of Lori and Brett Rubin, John and Rianne Weiner, Danny and Christine Greenfield, David and Rachel Greenfield, Jonathan and Janine Cooper, Catalina Hertz Dion and Nathan Dion, and James Wiggs Sade, great-grandmother of Zach Rubin, Evan Greenfield, Alex Greenfield, Gilbert Cooper, Theodore Cooper, William Cooper, Ezra Greenfield, and Angelique Hertz Dion. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories all each be a blessing, along with those who are in our own hearts each and every day. We turn to page 86 as we rise as one congregation, join together to consecrate the memories of those we love, those we remember, as we share in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, v'yamad tivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman karev v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'rechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu va'al kol Yisrael, va'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru amen. Because it is the month of Elul, we now have the wonderful opportunity to hear the shofar in expectation of Rosh Hashanah. We turn to page 89. The shofar is sounded from the first day of Elul until the eve of Rosh Hashanah to signal the approaching days of awe. The sound of the shofar implores us to engage in cheshbon hanefesh, an accounting of the soul. Together, amid shouts of joy, to the sound of shofar, the Holy One ascends.
Page 90, the second meditation. Breath of life we share with all the creatures of earth. Pass through the horn of this animal with the hope that we can transcend the animal within us.
Wow. You come with me. Page 91, We share in our shofar blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, shomea teruah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who hears the sounding of the shofar. Tekiah. Shivarim teruah. Tekiah. You may be seated. And now it is my pleasure to invite up our temple president, Debbie Roos, to share some greetings and some announcements.
Just with me. Okay.
I'd like to welcome everyone, and I'm so glad that you could join us in our sanctuary or in your own sacred space. I was caught a little bit off guard as I read yesterday's beautiful Elul writing by Ann Weiner. She described her comfort in knowing that whatever else was happening in the world, quote, Rosh Hashanah will always fall sometime in September and Yom Kippur 10 days later, end quote. It caught me off guard only because I had been thinking the same thing myself. Like clockwork, we travel time, no pun intended, religiously. Rosh Hashanah, 10 days later, Yom Kippur. 5 days later, Sukkot. 7 days later, Simchat Torah. In a few months, we will count 8 days of Hanukkah. In the spring, we will eliminate leavened bread from our diets for 7 days. And then we will count the Omer, the 49 days between Passover and Shavuot. And weekly, we work for 6 days and rest on the 7th. I could go on, and I'm sure I've missed a whole bunch of holidays and a bunch of days, but you get the point. We Jews are fastidious counters and time managers. The question is why? Perhaps the answer lies in the calming nature of cadence. Humans are attracted to rhythm more than to discord. The calendar and the counting provide a metronome of sorts when the in-betweenness of life is messy, chaotic, out of control, or even just boring. Temple, for its role in this time management process, helps orient us, providing the sacred space that says, you are here. Temple, the building, the people, the experiences that occur within, therefore, it functions as the great timekeeper for our heritage and even for our humanity. Here are some things coming up at the temple. Finally, the Welcome Back barbecue is this evening. I don't know what we're still welcoming back, but look, welcome back. It's immediately after services for those of you who've made reservations. We want to thank Roger Ojeda, the president of Brotherhood, and all of Brotherhood for sponsoring the event. Thank you also to the Sisterhood and the Brotherhood members who participated in preparing tonight's meal. All proceeds will go to benefit the Religious School Education Fund. So after auditions were held at after last week's Shabbat attendees, I'd hoped that we had found enough high holiday greeters, and apparently not. So sadly, they were just not quite good enough. This group, however, so let's see. Hi, how are you? That's pretty good. Yeah, we've got a good group here, so that's really good. So in all seriousness, we are looking for volunteers to help us greet members and guests for high holiday services. It's not hard, and it's actually very rewarding. If you're interested, please go to our website to sign up or contact Samantha Kennedy by calling the temple. Everything you need to know about high holidays can be found on our temple website. Things about guest cards, reciprocal seating, although like I said last week, we hope that you're here, the schedule of service, ordering your lulav and your etrog for Sukkot, and much more. The key is, if you need childcare, you must RSVP by Friday, September 16th. Finally, if you could help us, please return your prayer books back to the cart over there on your way out. Everything going on at Temple is listed on our website calendar and in our weekly email, which arrives in your inbox around 4 p.m. on Thursdays. Shabbat Shalom.
Our closing song is We Return, and you can find the words to that on your service supplement. Please rise. Shabbat Shalom.